I'm Sarah. I'm the owner of Vault Escape and the creator of Pirate Booty, and tonight we're going to go through round 1 and round 2 of Pirate Booty. In another video I'm going to make how to reset the game, and another video will show you how to do the crab pots and the final trumps. So this is what the table should look like. I always request round tables because this is a cooperative game and so we're trying to get everyone to work together. You throw your tablecloth down. It should be wrinkly. These are pirates after all. Plus it's really hard to keep them not wrinkled, so I always just say, hey, they're supposed to be that way. We have our round 1 chest, which is locked. We have our round 2 chest, which is also locked. And we have a flagpole with 2 different flags on it. One is your pirate flag, and one is just a striped colored burlap flag. So when people are coming into the room, they never all show up at the same time. That's never happened. So I have the pirates. They're in costume. They're in character the entire time. The second someone walks in that room, the pirate is in pirate character and will not break it. Even after the game is over, they will not break pirate character until the last client is out of the room. The pirates are pirates. They are here for immersion because we can't set up the whole room to make people feel like they're on a pirate ship. We want to do it with the pirate actors and with the props as much as we can. So as people come in, we want the pirates to say, you know, in their piratey way, hey, have you guys ever done an escape room? Do you know what an escape room is? And if you have done one, have you ever escaped? What we're trying to find out is what their level of competence is with this. Are they likely to get out? How much help are they going to need? Especially if you can spot, you know, there are some older people who aren't that interested or younger people who are super excited. We can try to bring down the excitement level a little bit, bring up the older people so we're working sort of on the same level. Again, it's a cooperative game. They all need to work together. So some people being super hyped up, it's a little too much. And some people, you know, who just really aren't that interested, we need to get them involved and get them to want to play the game. And the pirates, by being funny and giving that introduction, is the best way to do it. I don't require you all to use the same story that I do. So mine is called Pirate Booty. Some people like it to be called Pirate Treasure. I run this for a conference center and we'll use both names depending on how conservative the group is. If we're running Pirate Booty, then we have a pirate who's not wearing boots. And the whole time they're talking about, oh, I wish I had my boots. I don't know where they are. We're trying to send people to help look for those boots. And that is something that they'll find in the final treasure chest. We also have in the final treasure chest the snack, Pirate Booty, with my card stapled to it. People eat the snack, keep the card, come back to Vault Escape that way. And it works with the name. And everybody likes a prize at the end. Plus, a lot of these are run at around 5 o'clock, 5:30. So they're tired. They don't want to be there anymore. They want to go to dinner. And it does help to give them that little pep at the end where they get really excited. So again, this is what they're going to see at their tables. But they don't just walk in and join a table. We assign them randomly to a table. And we do that with these little envelopes. So you have almost always, there aren't as many people as they say there are going to be. I've had groups of 40 and they actually turn out to be 16. In which case, I then ask, do you want to run 2 groups of 8 or 4 groups of 4? They'll almost always go with the 4 groups of 4 in that sort of scenario. But every once in a while, there will be extra people and you'll need these extra pieces because it's better to have too many than not enough. So again, so what I do is if they say there's a group of 40 and I have 40 of these ready to go, but there's actually 16, this would be a problem trying to get them to the right place and get the right number of people. So what I do is I have these pre-filled with the 10 sliced up clues inside. So it's 10 envelopes, 4 Rackham, and they're in a white envelope, just a plain white envelope, and it says Rackham 10. And the other 3 tables also have it, so there's Robert's 10 and whatever the other 2 tables are. And so when I see there's only 16 people, then I pull out 4 from each one of these, and then that's what we're going to hand to people. The other ones that we have 6 for each one, we need to quick open up, pull out the clue, and set it on the correct table so that they can assemble their map. So what they find, once everyone has one of these, once we do the introduction, everyone has one of these, then we say, okay, open them up now. They're going to open them up. They're going to pull out their individual clue. So this is what the page looks like when it's just printed. These would be cut up. This is for a set of 10. So these would be sliced up. This is going to tell them how to get to their table. It's a rhyme to get to their pirate flag. Most people will get it. The people that don't get it will either go directly to a pirate and say, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. And you'll know that you need to keep your eye on those people because they're not very engaged. Otherwise, you'll have someone standing at the table going, my clue says a traditional pirate. If your clue says that, come to this table. So very quickly, we get everybody to the correct spot. Once they get here, they need to arrange their clues back together so they get their pirate map. Obviously, they wouldn't be able to pick it up like this because it's sliced into 10 pieces. but I just wanted to show you what this says. So what it does show us is that there's an X under the flag for 2 islands. Each of these flags match exactly what we have up here because we have these tables paired. So when you set these up in pairs, this is my breakfast room, so we're a little tight on space. When you set these up in pairs, you're going to unnaturally closely place the tables that are paired. So Rackham and Roberts will be closer than everybody else. They'll have the same color flagpole as well. That way it's sort of a subconscious clue that these guys are going to work together if they don't notice that their treasure maps actually have the pirates on them. So they will have the actual flag. That's going to show them that underneath, X marks the spot, underneath their flag is the key. It doesn't open their treasure chest though. It opens their neighbors. They need to trade keys. Or some people will actually change tables. The whole group will move. What's important at this point, Pirates, is make sure you have the same number of people at the tables at the end of this maneuver as at the beginning. So if you had 8 people at this table and 8 people at Robert's table and 6 of them get up and decide to change tables, so we take the key from Rackham and 6 of us go over to Robert's, now you have 14 and you have 2. So make sure that they're either trading the key or all of the teams switch. So we just want to make sure we have the right number of people at the end. So once we've traded, we're going to get our little key, and our clients are going to proceed to open the chest. Our pirates, however, are going to go by each table, and they're going to be funny, and they're going to be pirates, but they're going to make a comment that they're cleaning up these pieces. We need to get all 10 of these collected and put back in that white envelope. They don't have to be put back into these, but you need them collected into the envelope that says Rackham 10, so that you know when it's time to reset the game and remake these envelopes that you have the right numbers and you have the right ones. If you leave them out here, I guarantee you one will be gone, they'll be ripped, they'll be crumpled, it won't work, or they'll all be messed up, and you'll have 10 tables worth of these. You'll have 100 pieces all mixed up in a pile. That's no good. Your pirates can swing by, pick these up, put them away nicely, and you're ready to go. The now empty envelopes with the wax seals can all just be thrown in a box. It doesn't matter where they came from. Their color of their seal is not important. It's not a part of the game, just because I think they look cool in different colors. So this will just get tossed to the side. These will be put in an envelope and put away. It also makes more space on the table for people to play. So your customers are going to open this up, and all hands will kind of go in at once usually. It's just me, so I'm going to go through all the parts quickly here. So we have a chest that's got jewels in it, if you're in the know. It's got a small silver lock. No matter what this box looks like, it's going to have a small silver keyed lock. Some of the original boxes are different shapes and sizes. Some have grading on them. This one's a mini treasure chest, but they should have, if they don't have it on there, you can put on there the number. So this is treasure chest 14. This is table 14, so it's numbered 14, so we know to put it back in the right spot because they are table specific. So this bad boy's locked, you can't get in. We have another box here. Again, what your box looks like, it may be a little different. It's just what I had to hand, but it will have a combination lock with letters on it. Some of these I have put on whiteout on the arrows. This one I haven't. It hasn't really seemed to make any difference on whether people notice that that's where they need to line it up, but there's arrows on both sides. These are pretty easy to crack, so pirates, if you see someone trying to crack it, just stop them. That's what your sword is for. There is a balance pan scale. These were used in antiquity to use it. They just have to hold it up and put different weights on either side. Some people like to try to tie it onto here or hold it in different places. It really doesn't matter what they do with it, as long as they're using it properly. We have a bag full of coins and also a ring. This ring is magnetic. People like to put it on their finger and forget they have it, so make sure you keep an eye on where this ring goes. Sometimes it's gold, sometimes it's silver. It just depends on what the manufacturer sent me. We have rolled up paper. Wherever you see anything that's been tied up with string, it's been knotted, excluding the spyglass. And that makes it easier for the client. They don't have to try to untie something. It makes it easier for us to reset the game because you can just slide it back on. So it just slides right off. And we get 2 sheets of paper. We get these quadrants and these weights, which don't mean anything to us yet. Very last thing I'm going to pull out is this rum bottle. People always make comments that it's empty, but it's not empty. So we're going to open it up and shake out our little clue. Again, it's knotted, it's not tied, so we can get it off easily and reset it easily. It says, to seek what I hide, you must open the lid wide. Me booty is more than me jewels alone. Me ring has a value all its own. Touch the side not wrong to remove the pin so strong. Pull on the handle made of string, and me secrets into the light you shall bring. Now, I'm still not being tricky at this point. We're trying to give people really easy wins. This is not the hard part of the game. So this is not a very hidden compartment. So when it says open the lid wide, I literally just mean open the lid all the way. Me booty is more than my jewels alone. Me ring has a value all its own. This is where people need to realize they need this ring. Often people will skip the lines in here. This is an order. This is directly telling them how to open the lid if they just pay attention. Touch the side not wrong. The side not wrong is the right side. So there is a little hole over here. It says to remove the pin handle made of string and me secrets into the light you shall bring. So they just need to pull on this to release the pressure off of the metal pin that's inside. And then they're just going to use the magnet and pull out the pin. So if they lift it up and just take that pressure off and put the magnet on, the pin comes right out. What is important is that before this point, people will take the end of the balance pan scale and they will try to shove it in the hole. Because they think they need to push something in the hole, not pull something up. Don't let them do that. They're going to break your game. They'll try to shove this end of your lock in there. Don't let them do that. They will take the keys and try to shove them in there. Don't let them do that. If you see that as a pirate, you need to shut that action down. This is designed to be breakable. So what I have is a little loop with a magnet. It's super glued in. It's nailed in. So if they break it, it's very easy to put it back on. But it's easier for them just not to break it in the first place. But it is designed to break without damaging the actual equipment. So I did design it that way. So inside they find the key is it's sitting, I always leave it stuck to the magnet so it doesn't get lost during transit. It's either tied on a purple or a red ribbon. It's only tied to that because the key's really small and you don't want to lose it. So this key opens up this little silver box, or silver lock. Again, we're not trying to be tricky here. We want people to get into this. So now we have two different things going. There's the gems with the clue in here, and there's the spyglass that's sitting on top here, as well as the clue inside. There's actually a clue Mod Podged inside the trunk. And it says, within this spyglass lies a clue. Instead of towards C, turn the glass back to you. So this is the only time they need to untie anything. Normally a spyglass would be used this way. We're actually going to turn it around this way. It doesn't matter if it's out or in. I just always use it in. But it doesn't make any difference. These don't really have any magnification. And when you look at it, you will see, in fact, I might be able to show you. We'll see here. Inside, whoa. Okay, you're going to see the N, the arrow, the horizontal line, and the X in the bottom quadrant. So in this case, it's in the bottom left quadrant. So this lets me know that this is an even numbered chest because the evens and the odds are different. The jewels that are inside are different, and the this clue is different. So bottom left quadrant. So anyone who's been paying attention, and pretty much everyone gets this right away, that looks exactly like this piece of paper. So this tells us that the bottom, what did I say, bottom left quadrant? Yeah. Bottom left quadrant, we need 2 large emeralds, 1 large pink sapphire, 1 large diamond, 3 small rubies, and 3 small emeralds. So pretty much everybody has already done this. And there's a clue inside, and there's a bunch of jewels. So we know we need 2 large emeralds, 1 large diamond, 2 small diamonds, 3 small rubies, 1 large pink sapphire, and although some of the other gems have writing on them, some don't, they're just there to look good, they don't need any of the other ones with writing. So we know which ones we pulled, so we're done with this sheet. As a pirate, you can come around and keep clearing these tables if you have easy accessibility. If you have to elbow people out of the way, that's not the way to do it. But if you can sneak in and get this magnetized stuff back on the magnet, get the keys and the ring, and especially this little metal piece that holds the pin, get that all stuck back on this piece if you can. Get it back in its box if you can. Get it out of the way. So A, they have more space to work, and B, you've already started cleaning up. So I've already started cleaning up this table. So inside the jewel box, we not only have the jewels, but we also have a clue. And the clue says, move the gems to your bag of treasure. 8 letters fill your eyes with pleasure. balance like with like to decide their measure. Some will rise and some will fall. Put them in order to reveal all. So again, this is shouldn't be that hard if you just follow the directions, but this is an extremely difficult task. So the first round takes about 40 minutes, and the most time is taken up by this task here. So again, it says, move the gems to your bag of treasure. They don't actually need to move them to their bag of treasure, but what I'm trying to make them note is that their bag of treasure had coins in it. And those coins have letters on them. So it'll be 5 gold ones, 3 of another color, 2 of another color, and 1 of another color. And they'll all have, so there's 3 J's in this case, 2 B's, and 1 T. And 5 N's or Z's, they won't know what it is until they're looking at their lock. And then it says 8 letters, fill your eyes with pleasure. So they have 4 letters on their coins, and they have 4 letters on their gems. So what they're supposed to realize is that they need to use all of these. There isn't actually a letter lock with 8. There's only the 5, so they should know they're trying to sort of winnow this down. And then it says balance like with like to decide their measure. Some will rise and some will fall. Put them in order to reveal. Telling them that they need to weigh everything on the balance scale and put them in order is put them from heaviest to lightest or lightest to heaviest. It's just relative weight. The thing that people struggle with the most is what does like with like mean? So some people will take all of the gems and they'll stick them in one side of the balance pan, and they'll take all the coins and they'll stick them in the other side. This doesn't get you anywhere because your letters are still mixed up and it doesn't really tell you anything. Some people will only use the gems, and they'll do all the big gems versus all of the small gems. Again, that's not going to help you because your letters are all jumbled. They'll do the same thing with the coins. They'll stick all of the coins on one side. They'll stick some of the coins, but they're not doing it with the letters. So I specifically say 8 letters, fill your eyes with pleasure, because I'm trying to draw people's attention to the letters. Almost never will people get this. So you will have to start hinting them. Let them struggle, let them fail a little bit, let them try to figure it out. Don't let them go completely crazy, and you don't want them frustrated. You want them to be working on it and struggling, but you don't want them frustrated. And they should finish this whole round 1 in 40 minutes, 35 to 40 minutes. So if they're falling way behind that, you need to push them through at this point. But what they do need to figure out is they're trying to get the letters in order from lightest to heaviest. So in this case, they should be able to parse out that 5 coins is heavier than 3 coins, it's heavier than 2 coins, it's heavier than 1 coin, without weighing anything. So I'm going to say the 5 coins are the heaviest thing on the table. They're at least the heaviest coins. So I'm going to put them on one side. And then I'm going to look, and I have 2 large, a large and 2 small, 3 small, and 1 large. So I'm going to say I think the 2 large are probably the heaviest thing here. So I'm going to stick these on the other side. Oops, I'm going to take this piece out. And I'm going to say, okay, what's heavier? The coins or the gems? And in this case, it's the coins. So there is nothing heavier than these coins. People may not intuit everything, so they may need to also weigh the other coins against them, but the 5 coins are the heaviest. The coins do all weigh the same. So we know the very heaviest is this. So I think the 2 gems are the next heaviest. So I'm going to weigh it against the 3 coins and see if I'm right. And I am. They're still heavier than those 3 coins. But are they heavier than the 1 large and the 2 small? Yes, still heavier. So I know that the next thing are these 2. Okay, so what's next? Are the 3 coins heavier? No, they're not. And I know just by intuiting it that the 1 large and 2 small is heavier than the single large one here. They eventually will go all the way through the line until they get the relative weights, and they should have them all lined up. So I'm not going to go through them all now, but you get how they should be doing this. So then people go, now what do I do? And sorry, my computer just closed on me for a second. So then we say, okay, this is the only thing they haven't used yet. And it's okay as a pirate to come by and, sort of nudge them in the right direction. Sort of, I might take this if I find it on the other side of the table and just sort of toss it down. Give them a clue. I might give it to them verbally, depending on how much help they need. What they're looking at are weights, hanging, and there are 8 lines, and that designates that there are the 8 letters. So we know that the first letter on this lock is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th heaviest. Okay, so it'll be the 6th in line. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's the peas. And I'm going to open my lock. I'm going to come over to my lock and I'm going to put the peas in. I happen to know the answer, so I'm just going to go ahead and fill out the rest of the code. Well, I'm going to guess the code. It's one of 2 codes here, so. People can crack this lock if they want to. Stop them. Don't let them crack it unless they're coming up short on time. I think I know this code. There we go. So it just slides open. If they don't have these exactly on the arrows, it won't open. So just keep an eye out that they're not putting them in the wrong spot and that they're getting them well like that. They should just slide apart though. Inside, this is the halt box. So it says halt. It's got a clue inside. When they lift that clue, so this is round 1. The first table that gets done, the pirates go, yay, great job. Take your envelope and head to any of the other tables, or if they've already opened it, head to the correct table. And help them finish. So some of them have the same combination, some of them don't. They do have different gems, so they can't just be like, use the diamonds, because they don't have diamonds, although it is the same order of gemstones. The 5 coins, 2 large, 1 large, 2 small. It's the same weight order, but it's not the same colors. Don't let them carry these off. These are table specific, so they can't move. And after these people have dispersed, the pirates should come over and they should start cleaning up. So this whole thing should be cleaned up so it's not in the way. If you have time, and you won't, but if somehow you do, you can put things back where they're supposed to go. So I can say, oh, all of the gems go back in here. But this takes a lot of time. So this pretty much never happens. So what I do is just make sure I still have all the answers, and I just start throwing everything in. So I'm not trying to put it in the right spot, not trying to close things up properly. I'm just getting it all in. And that's because we want them to have space, but more importantly, we don't want them to walk off with any of our parts. Now you can either take this away, you can put it under the table. I usually just leave it right here. People don't mess with it anymore. They know they don't need to get back into it. And I know it's still in the right spot. So then what happens is they're going to have, once they get through everything and everybody's opened up their envelopes, then they're going to get their clue, which will say it's literally a preschool rhyme about the color of the flag. They need to go find that color of the flag. That's their new table. Same thing happens again where some of the people can't find their table, but someone inevitably yells, if your thing says this, come to our table. How do we stop them from just getting into the next spot if everybody hasn't finished? Well, it's locked and they don't have access to the key. So your pirates are carrying around little bags with keys in them, and they are not to be handed out in round 2 until they have completely reassembled their clues. So their individual clues, tell them where to go, flip them over, reassemble it, and it says something about the sharks in the sea have many, but the key you're looking for doesn't have any. That's teeth. Once they have that assembled, the pirate's going to come by and drop this little bag off. Don't drop it off in advance, or the first people can, they don't even have to assemble the clue, they can just open it up and try the different keys. So make sure they have that clue finished, they actually are playing the game. They're going to pop it open. There's just an extra key in this one. There's only 1 key in here that looks nothing like the others. It does not have any teeth, and it just slides right in. If your pirate gets a chance, they should come back and clean these up as soon as possible and take them away, and that's because people will try to shove these decorative little keys into every possible lock they can get their grimy hands on, and you don't want them to do that. So if you get a chance, clean them up. If you don't, again, you don't need to elbow people out of the way. But just keep in mind, if you can, you should. So this is just straight up out of habit. I'm cleaning this up right now. So, oops, that's reset. And so if you have one of the large treasure chests, this will just open. But if you have one of the small treasure chests, this is a small one, you'll need to move this little hinge out of the way to get it open. Usually if I've mailed you these, not always, but usually if I've mailed it to you, you'll have a small one packed inside a bigger one, and I do that to save on the shipping costs. It doesn't matter what size they are. There's no rhyme or reason to it other than trying to save you some money by packing it all in a little tighter. So what they get is one of these. I try to set these up nicely and set them on the table, but people shake them around, so you'll find things get moved around. That's fine. It's not a big deal. So this is the easy round. After they've struggled with balancing their gems and figuring out that last one, I want them to have really easy wins at the end. So they worked really hard. This is how I design all of my rooms, where they work really hard. By a little past the halfway point, we've hit the hardest part of the room. We've taken the most time. And from here on, it gets faster and easier. That's so they, really feel like they're getting smarter. They're doing a better job. Really, I've just designed it to be that way. So when they open up this treasure chest, they're going to find a parrot. So on some of these, if you squeeze it a second time, it'll turn it off, so you don't have to keep listening to it. Some of these, it doesn't. So it just depends on the one, and they need to squeeze the butt. I did have a lady walk around with this on her shoulder forever, and she did not realize that it talked. So these do talk, so make sure they know that they talk. They're also going to pull out. So this says acorns are blue, hearts are red, leaves are green, and bells are yellow. So I know that this is an odd table. So I have an even table and odd table, which you should not do during a game, but I just pulled these off the shelf. So we have the parrot who talks and tells us colors. And we have these barrels, which some people will look inside and see you have different colored pegs. Some people will look at the bottoms and see you have different colors. Some people will notice that we have rum and gunpowder. Some people will notice to know to put these upside down. Some people won't. They're also going to pull out a deck of cards. Again, it's just knotted, so it slides right off. This one is set up not for play, but for storage. So the very back card says Rackham and Roberts. So I know that this trunk, if all hell breaks loose and I don't know where this is supposed to go, I know it is supposed to go with a Rackham and Roberts table. And I can tell by the colors whether it's odd or even. Because you don't want to screw this up. They need to be at the right tables because those tables are paired. So if you're actually playing the game, this card shouldn't be on the outside. It should be on the inside. Your observant players are going to pull out this deck of cards, and they're going to start thumbing through them, and they are going to notice that some of them have writing on them. So they'll do exactly what I'm doing right now, and they're going to just look for the ones that have something on them, and they'll pull those out. So I used to only have a few that had it on there. Now I put a lot more cards in. So I'm only going to pull out a couple, but there's quite a few in here. And so I have a PhD in Byzantine history, and so I'm really into historical things. And so on the back of these cards are facts about pirates, mostly from the golden age of piracy, and then the 4 that are actual clues. I've put enough in there now that most people aren't going to suss out what the answer is, but some still will. So netting catches many things, and the sea is very different than some pirates believe that pierced ears would improve their eyesight. Some people will figure out which 4 are important, and they'll skip the whole rest of the treasure chest. That's fine. They figured out a way to do it. I'm aware that's a way to do it, and I think it's a fair thing to do. However, once they figure it out, don't let them skip to the other table and just grab their flag post. They have to be able to explain to them how to get to that point, even if it is just the cheating way. And finally, the last thing that we have in here are the peg boards. So you have, it says money, treasure in 2 different colors, gold, and cash. These just reassemble so that we have coordinates. It does not matter whether cash or gold goes first, except people want there to be in order. So I made one, and I actually drew on these, so these can be reassembled. There's no real purpose to it, except people wanted there to be in order. It really doesn't matter. So what a lot of people do is they'll look at this, and they'll say, interesting, and they'll grab the red one, and they'll take all the pegs, and they will put every single peg in the red one. And then they'll grab the yellow, and they'll put every single yellow peg in the yellow one. And then they'll go orange, weird. I don't have orange. But then they'll take that orange, and they'll put every single orange one in somewhere. That happens. Obviously, they're not doing it right. Other people will go, oh, red. I'll dump it out, and I'll start putting my coordinates in. Or this guy, I'll go, oh, yellow. So I have MS, I have YS, I have OE. Ooh, but the first set of coordinates for OE are actually under the red. See that? When it actually should be, whoa, these are backwards. When it actually should be over here. Wow, I can't do this backwards, you guys. All right, so what happens is they're mixing their colors up and they're just hitting them into the first place. They're not paying any attention to the color. That's okay if they do that. It's not ideal, but we still know the colors on top. So they'll still get the right numbers and they'll still get them in the right spots. It just won't be as obvious to them and you'll have to clue them in to use the colors. Okay, so if we did do this, I'm not going to fill out all the yellow because it takes a long time. I happen to know, oops, now I'm putting the wrong colors in. I happen to know what the red one says, so I'm just going to go ahead and fill it out. Throwing stuff here. Okay. So we end up with a red 7. We're going to get other numbers for the other colors. Okay. So once they have them all filled out, they're going to realize, oh no, I still have a blue and a gold and I have the wrong colors. Or they'll realize, oh, red and purple have the same coordinates. So they need to trade their barrels. Most people will figure this out because they say rum and gunpowder, they're the wrong colors. Their parrot tells them which colors they need. Their, pegboards tell them which colors they need. Generally, one of the groups will figure it out. Everyone will follow suit. If not, you can give them a hint for it. So they'll make their switch. They'll get all their numbers in. And then they'll go, oh, I have a red 7 and a yellow 8 or whatever it is. That's where the parrot comes into play. So the parrot says acorns are blue, whatever it says. Hearts are red. So we have red 7, and we have this deck of cards. So we know we need to find the 7 of hearts, which of course I don't have sitting out. Was not one of the ones I came across. I do recommend if you have a chance to actually take a look at these cards. These are 16th century satirical German playing cards. They're real playing cards, replicas, and they're hilarious. They're very off color. You can see monks throwing up and throwing things and puking and pooping, and they're pretty funny. Not what you would expect. Okay, so here is a 7 of hearts, and on the back we have a clue. It's a Rackham and Roberts clue, so I shouldn't have hidden that. And so they're going to get their 4 clues, and they're going to say, it's going to say the Rackham and Roberts work together to thin posts, get things out of the water, treasure chest keys were lost to the sea, and netting catches many things. And this is what directs them to take their little mini flagpoles and go over to the crab pots and go fishing in the crab pots for the bobbers, which I'll show you in a different video. So they're going to do this. So if Rackham gets done before Roberts, don't let the team just go over and take these from the other team. They have to get there themselves. So you're a pirate, you've got a sword, stop them. Be funny, tell them to help them out, but they can't just steal, all right? You can even tell, a team, defend your things. Don't let them just take it from them, because they need to work together. Now, in theory, it is possible for one team to get the bobber out of the crab pot with these. With just 2, I've seen it happen once. I'm pretty sure it was just luck, because no one has ever done it, and I was not able to repeat it. So they should need 4 of these to get it out. So while your teams are over at the crab pots trying to get their bobbers and open that final treasure chest, you do not need all of your pirates over there. You need 1 pirate for every, 8 to 10 tables. So that's, most of these tables are going to be, you don't need your pirates over there. So what your pirates should be doing who aren't at the crab pots is they're back here resetting the game. So they're going to come, they're going to quick pull all these pegs. If we can reset round 2 before they even get their keys. Because it's really easy to do. We're just going to pull the pegs. People are going to send things flying, so make sure you look under the tables and around the tables, because like I've been doing, stuff just goes flying out of your hands. So you're going to want to get them all back in. All of these are going to go back in. So to redo this, they just put the pieces in, then the barrels. Make sure you swap them back with the other table. Put them in colored side up if they're for storage. If you're resetting for an immediate replay of the game, put them in black sides up. But if it's for storage, put them this way just in case someone forgets to trade out the barrels. The next pirate to set up the game can take a look and will know. So you take your cards and you're going to put those back. Again, you're going to want Rackham and Roberts, so we know which table we're looking at on the back so we can read it. We're going to tie that up. Just going to let my cat in. Put that back in here, and then put our parrot in. Put our lock in, unlocked, put it inside if you're storing it. Put your keys inside if you're storing that, and that round 2 chest is fully reset already. I usually store these in the bigger chest just because there's more space, so I would put those back at the end of the game. So this is round 1 and round 2. They still have to get the crab pot and get into the final treasure chest, but this should take them the vast majority of the time. This one, round 1, should take 40 minutes. Don't let them go much beyond that. Push them through. This one should take 20 minutes, including the crab pot. So this whole thing should take less than 20 minutes. Okay, so I will do another video to show you the crab pot and to show you the setup for the reset for round 1.